Good evening, everyone.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. I love our ritual. Okay, so we have two guests tonight.
Yes, we do.
So exciting. Triple the fun, quadruple the fun, however you want to do it. We have stuff to tell the audience. We have some exciting things. We've launched a merch shop. We are getting close to launching phase 1 of our research and training center. Tonya had an amazing week as far as that went, but we're going to save that till the end of the show. So stay with us. What we want to do right now is we want to roll the intro. We want to introduce our two amazing guests who have brought lots of friends. I have one crystal skull. He doesn't even have a name. I guess I could call him Joey Skull. But I have this one little skull, and you have a little skull.
I have one, and he told me that his name is Marty.
Marty,
I'm not
nice
doing a
name.
great job of holding him up there,
cool.
There he
Marty
is.
the Crystal Skull. All right, so let's roll the intro, come back, and get started. Oh, we have little ghosts in the back. We did a little work on the set, but you can't see them. They're kind of washed out, but they're smiling. Here we go. There exists a realm beyond our wildest dreams, a realm beyond reality that the gatekeepers and guardians have always told us consists of nothing but tricks of the eye, weather balloons, swamp gas, sand cranes, fairy tale myths of monsters, crackpot conspiracy theories, and desperate cries for attention.
We know this realm exists, and it's just beyond the horizon. The preset path, the well-worn walkways where the cynics want us to stay.
Instead, give this a listen. Put on your headphones, adjust your volume, close your eyes, and fasten your mental seatbelts, because the twilight-tinged turnoff from reality's alluring highway is looming just ahead.
We're about to leave the plane of the easily explained, couldn't possibly be's, and the no way I just saw what I saw's, for the spaces and places where everything is possible, and if you stay long enough, even probable. We're about to take a journey into the outer realms.
All right. Oh. Sorry, that was behind the scenes. Make the banner magically disappear because I like to have fun.
Yeah, me too.
And have an imagination. So let's read our bios and get on before we get into trouble. Lory Osborn is a member of our investigative team. Lory has assisted with her skills and Reiki and other skills as a talented intuitive on cases that we've worked on. Always appreciated. She is the newest member of the Red Thread Collective. So she will be making her on-screen debut with the Thread July 22nd, where we bring you Antarctica in summer. She is a Reiki master teacher. You guys study together?
Mm-hmm.
And an intuitive. Lory has a broad knowledge of crystals and gemstones and has collected crystal skulls for many years. Michelle Bowser is an author, film producer, intuitive, and lifelong experiencer. Michelle has also been interested in crystal skulls for many years. Now, both Michelle and Lory, as well as talking about the general legends, the special event you had with the amazing Max the Crystal Skull, one of the few really, truly authenticated skulls. And when I say authenticated, the British Museum said, well, we can't say what it is, so maybe it's something, right? So that's how that works. And they're going to be showing their own skull collections tonight. So very exciting. Without further ado, welcome, Michelle, and welcome, Lory. Welcome to the show.
Two of my all-time favorite people. And we always like to know, we always like to start the show by talking about how we met our guests. And of course, I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but for those of you who are interested to find out even more about the really interesting stories behind Lory and Michelle, visit my YouTube channel. And I think, yep, Joey has links up there. I have an episode with each of us talking about how we met. But Lory, you and I met when we did our Reiki training together, levels 1, 2, and 3, all the way back in 2009. And of course, we became fast friends. And Michelle, you and I met. It's such a great, I mean, both of them they're just great stories. So you guys really got to go check out those interviews. You and I met when your guides told you that you needed to tell me about automatic writing. And that's a great story as well. And that was 2010, I think. So I met you both close to the same time. So we've known each other for quite a while now.
Do you know that has a technical term? I've been doing some work on the grant that we're applying for. Do you know that automatic writing it's called psychography?
Oh, I think I've heard that before.
That's what stuffy scientists call it. But automatic writing works pretty darn well. Michael, thank you. We love the ghost lights too. And
got those.
I wish you could see their little smiling faces. Everyone's happy here. So I'm going to try to do some technology tonight. Hi, Mark Husk.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark and Michelle know each other. Lory, do you know Mark?
I don't know.
Very cool guy. We're gonna have to remedy that.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, guys, I'm trying to be efficient with the technology tonight. We'll see how it goes. When we announce our new merchandise store, I already have the links in there for you on YouTube and on Facebook. Also to the YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Tonya's YouTube channel, where she has lots of great guests, including these two wonderful ladies. Okay, so we are going to talk about. I'm going to try to share some photos. And we're going to see how this goes. Okay. Yeah, see, they keep doing stupid stuff. All right, so hold on. All right, wait, what's this? Oh, there we go.
Oh.
So this is Max. Okay, that's cool. Hope everybody can see this. This is Max the Crystal Skull. In 2012, we had the privilege of coordinating a Max event with our dear mentor, Rosemary Ellen Guiley, and we all had the opportunity to meditate with Max. Not me, because I chickened out.
Oh, that's right.
His energy was so powerful. I was like, I cannot be alone with Max. But everybody had profound experiences, which you're all going to be talking about. Now, here's the interesting thing about Max. A lot of the skulls that they thought were part of the Big 13 turns out that they're like from the late 1800s, early 1900s. They have tool marks, diamond cutting, various things. If you look at Max here, he's lit from underneath, but you can sort of see, and I have some other pictures here too. You can see Max is actually 5 different pieces of quartz all fused together.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty good clue that something really interesting is going on. So do all 5 of these pieces of quartz have different frequencies, which allows Max to broadcast, broadband? I'm not going to do an impression of Travis Taylor, but I thought of it. So anyway, Max is said to be this guy that you're looking at right here, 10,000 years old. He was used by Mayan priests for healing and prayer. Max, as his custodian, is Joanne Parks, and she was given Max 31 years ago by a red hat monk. It's a fascinating story. Look up Joanne, Joann Parks, and her story of Max the Crystal Skull. The monk, his parting words when he gave her the skull were, "Take care of this, and one day you'll know what it's for and what it's about." Joanne had Max authenticated by the British Museum, which I, have already talked about that. They really said, we don't know.
Right.
This kind of defies explanation. So that's scientists for this is real. Also, the Smithsonian, we saw some research today, have also kind of put their stamp on it. Max is considered to be one of the rarest artifacts ever found on the planet. And here he is with Joanne. So let me get rid of that and let's move on.
Yeah. So
technology.
Yay. So we're going to talk about that 2012 Max event. We all had pretty profound experiences, but Lory, I thought you might want to talk a little bit about, because you're so Michelle is as well, but you're so knowledgeable God, I can't talk tonight. I'm so sorry. You're so knowledgeable about crystal skulls that I thought you might want to talk about the legend of the 13 crystal skulls.
Okay, so the legend of the 13 is that there are 13 crystal skulls that are like Max, and they will all come together. And when they do, there will be a collective type message for the benefit of humanity. And they will, I'm not sure how they will access the wisdom, but they say that when they come together, that I guess it will be obvious.
Is
That's
there
my
any
understanding
idea,
as
any
well.
kind of guess as to when that might be?
Mm-mm.
Right.
Now, I had heard that it was supposed to be 2012, but I think that was
Right.
somebody's just estimate. Somebody going, "Oh yeah, well, December 2012 is supposed to be the my end of the Mayan calendar," but it certainly wasn't then. So, yeah, I
Right.
haven't seen anything else about that either.
And Michelle, you have some more information about those other 13 big guys?
I don't. I really don't know that much about the other 13 because mine is such a newborn. I've been so dedicated.
Do you have the outline that we sent you?
Yes, but not in front of me.
Okay, no problem. Okay, we rolled loosey-goosey here on Into the Outer Realms. Many crystal
We're
skulls
just
were
hanging with
found,
friends
and several
anyway.
of them, like Max, have had their age authenticated by electron microscopes. So they have applied big science to these. We've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because scientists are hot to debunk these, like they are the great ancient sites like Palenque and so on and so forth. It's thought that they were part of Mayan and Aztec ceremonies and are believed to hold knowledge regarding the history of the human race and civilization. Keep going.
Well, I just want to.
I saw.
Oh, you saw. Okay, so in 2012, we decided to have this Maxa Crystal Skull event, and as Joey mentioned, we coordinated with our dear friend Rosemary Ellen Guiley. And before the event ever happened, it was probably a few weeks. Wow, that's wild. Before the event, I had this dream in which Max fell to the floor and he broke into a lot of different pieces, but then he was able to put himself back together. So the next day after the event, so I had the dream about a week before the event. The day after the event, Rosemary was taking some pictures with Max. He was on a little table, sort of like, well, I'm not even going to make a comparison because I don't want to jinx anything, but he was sitting on a little table, and all of a sudden, Max goes tumbling to the floor, and perfectly, he was completely unscathed, thank goodness. But that was just kind of one of the many extraordinary experiences. Now, Max gave all of us messages. We did all have the opportunity to meditate with him, and I thought that we could all kind of share some of our experiences. So, Lory, you were just reminding me the other day of the brilliant experience that you had after you meditate, or during and after you meditated with Max.
Right. Marty, our good friend Marty, and we went in together and we shared our meditation time. So she and I were in there together, and, we were taking pictures and doing, trying to have quiet time, but you could also take items in and have them charged as well with Max's energy. And so we were doing that, and then we got quiet, and it was just a simple word that I got was just believe. Just believe. That was it. And then I was kind of like bummed, right? Because, you expect some kind of like,
He's going to drop some profound wisdom on you.
Yeah, he's going to tell me the mystery of the ages and why I'm here and, that kind of thing. But no, it was just believe. And then when we walked out, which I didn't know the woman at the time, her name's Heather, and she's a friend of ours. And we walked out, and she was waiting. She was sitting on a couch in front of me, and it was kind of like a sunken living room, I think, situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And across her back was a huge tattoo that said believe. And I was like, okay, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. And then subsequently, I know there were a lot of other people, and we do have a page. I think we forgot to mention this earlier. You may have. You have it
I
there.
put it in there. You can go to Max WV Ring on Facebook and see these pictures. I apologize. The share feature on this StreamYard throws me.
So
Thanks,
it's
Brian.
not working at all.
I just, it's not worth it, but people can go and do that. Michael asks, are there other skulls that are part of the 13, supposedly quartz as well, or a mix of different crystals? Does anybody know?
That's a great question. My understanding, Michael, is they're all quartz crystal skulls. Now, I don't know that anyone would know whether they're like exactly like Max or different.
But you can also have quartz with other,
Mhm.
like, for example, Michelle's is quartz with black tourmaline.
Awesome.
So you can have a lot of quartz with different things in them.
Right.
Awesome.
That totally makes sense
I
because
think-
they're like computers storing information.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Quartz is used in computers and technology for that reason, and I think that's exactly why they're quartz. So, but
Yeah.
back to what I was going to say about the believe message, there were a lot of other people at that event who got the same message, who got believe, and they write about it on the page. So you can go through the Facebook page and read the accounts that people posted of their meditations. But Michelle, you got a fun message from Max when you meditated with him.
Yeah, because he said I was going to go on a fun trip with my boss, who at that time was you. And we ended up going on many fun trips. Like, I can't even remember which one specifically that would have been because there were so many.
I know. I don't remember
I
what
started after that because that was one of the first events that we did when I started working for you. So
Yep.
it was all after that, and it all turned out great.
It happened pretty quickly, right? After?
It was pretty quick, and she's
Yeah, like
right.
the
We
next
really
weekend.
we weren't traveling before that at all, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden we were. So
Yeah. I want to, before we move on, I want to address that idea of believe. It's, and Michelle, I think you recently read this, but Ingo Swann's Penetration.
Yeah.
Where he talks
Not
about,
recently, but I have read it. Yeah.
yeah, remote viewing the dark side of the room. Oh, Lory, you read it recently. Yeah, so we've all read it. Folks, you gotta, Ingo Swann, INGO, Swann, SWANN, one of the most talented remote viewers.
and psychics.
Yeah, and psychics.
And really
amazing
artists.
guy. He was also an artist in New York. He's a great guy. And he comes to you and yells at you all the time.
Not all the time, but he has when I'm trying to meditate and I'm not doing it right. He lets me know. So
He wrote this book where, amongst other amazing stories that he tells this story of remote viewing the dark side of the moon and seeing structures. And he doesn't know. The whole thing is they're given coordinates. And he's going, I think this is the moon. And it's the CIA or somebody like that. It's like they blindfolded him and brought him from the train station to the secret location in D.C. It's all real cloak and dagger stuff. And he says, I see buildings. And they say, well, tell us more. I see beings around the buildings. Well, tell us more. They're looking at me. And they immediately stop the experiment because in remote viewing, it should be a one-way screen. So I remember calling the guy who at the time he photocopied it for me. Couldn't even get the book. This is 12 years ago. And I said to him, should I believe this? If you tell me to believe it, my life will change completely. And he said, yeah, you should believe it. So to me, that word believe, when we allow ourselves to go, yeah, this is real. It's authentic. It opens up. That's my take on that. Yeah.
I think so too. I think it was believe these messages, believe the energy that you're experiencing. So we should talk about that as well. Like I know for me, when I sat with Max, it was like a feeling I've never experienced before or since. I felt like I was transported. I mean, it's like a pulsing kind of an energy. And it was different for everybody. Some people wrote accounts of feeling like they were being moved forward in time or that they were spinning. What was it like for you guys?
It was very jovial. I remember at the time, my husband and my son went with me, and my husband had been sick for a really long time. And my son was just entering his teenage years, so there was a lot of sullen kind of, just generally in our atmosphere wherever we went, whatever we did.
Brian,
And we just, but
are
everything
you
was
using the internet?
everything was happy, and then
Mhm.
we were all happy after that. Like it was it just sort of energized us in a very good mood that we hadn't had in a long time.
Awesome. What was it like for you, Lory?
It was very much a joyful situation. It was very light. I expected it to be a little more, I don't know, grounding or a little more profound, but it was profound, but it was light.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And one of the 13 crystal skulls is called like the Skull of Doom or something,
No,
right?
that was one that was tested, and they found modern tool markings. on
Good,
it, so-
because I don't get. I mean, when I say I didn't want to be alone with Max, I've come a long way in my training and my sense of. It was out of respect for his power,
Mhm.
not knowing what I was going to get or what he was going to tell me. So it wasn't that it was frightening or dark, but I love the fact that he's jovial, he's light, and I got that sense from Joanne.
Yeah, Joanne, first of all, has a great sense of humor and is a very fun, light, joyful person. I love the story she tells about Max when she first got him from the monk. She didn't know what to do with. She was like, I have no idea like what to do with the 16-pound crystal skull. She put it in her closet. You guys remember this story? And he would talk to her.
Right.
And tell her, and then so finally she took him out, and he kind of told her what she needed to do, and he also told her his name.
Right? And he said, "My name is not Skull. My name is Max."
Yeah, because she was just calling him the Skull.
I love it.
Yeah, and it's a great story, and she is a lot of fun, and hopefully next year, I don't know. I need to get in touch with Joanne and find out. I'm sure with COVID and everything, she's probably not done a lot of events, if any. And I'm hoping if things improve next year with COVID, that we could maybe arrange something to have another event. That would be so amazing.
That would be cool. We should maybe have her on the show.
Oh my
Or
gosh,
Max.
we should absolutely have her on the show.
Okay, you got one more thing to say, and then we're really turning the show over to the ladies
That's
to talk
right.
about their skulls,
Talk
which is,
about
I'm
their
sure, why
skulls.
everyone's here. So you want to
Exactly. Yeah,
say that
so
bit?
the last thing I want to say is I continue to receive messages from Max. So I got the premonition dream from him, which I think was kind of a joke. If I look back, knowing we're talking about his fun energy, his joking energy, he was probably like, "What's the worst possible scenario would be that I broke," and then he falls. And I remember Rosemary saying her heart actually stopped, like she felt the world stop when he hit the floor. And then, of course, he's completely unscathed, and nothing is wrong. So, but I got a message after, and I'm sorry, I got a message right before I sat with Max, and I was told that there would be new energies affecting our planet as we shifted into the new moon, and the next day we got a solar eclipse, which was called the Ring of Fire. So, and then a lot of people were getting messages from Max during their meditation where he was talking about the Ring of Fire, and I think he was referring to that eclipse. And just last Thursday, we had another Ring of Fire eclipse.
So not bad. Off
Pretty
by
cool
1 week.
synchronicity.
That's
Yeah.
pretty weak. Cool. Okay, so Michelle, let's hear about Tom, and I think I may have had this figured out, and we'll be able to see him. But go ahead and tell us about him.
So he's quartz with black tourmaline and some aluminum sodium iron. So you could see he's got that little bit of brown, and then these little black spots are the like stripes are his tourmaline, and he weighs 15 pounds and 2 ounces, and he's very young. He's only about 7. And my husband got him. It was kind of amazing. We had not set out to get a crystal skull. he was just scrolling through eBay for the, I don't know what he was looking for, or maybe he wasn't looking for anything in particular, but this crystal skull came up, and he was just like, well, that's weird. That's cool, but that's kind of weird. And then it came up, and it was a really amazingly low price, but still very expensive. And he said, well, that's cool, but I wasn't going to buy a skull. And then a few minutes later, it popped up again, even though he wasn't searching for it. And the price was even lower. I don't remember what the price was, but it was even lower. And he was like, okay, maybe I'll buy this. And it was from China. Tom is from China. So he thought, oh, there's going to be, tariffs and shipping and all this stuff. And he went back and forth with who he was buying it from. And they're like, nope, there shouldn't be any, it shouldn't be very much more than what it was. And then, but it was going to be probably months before he actually arrived. It was going to take, a very long time. And he showed up like less than 2 weeks later on our doorstep. We were not expecting him.
Wow.
We were at all, because we thought it was going to be months. And then we thought, even though they assured us there probably wasn't going to be any extra charges, they couldn't guarantee that. There were no extra charges. He just showed up on our doorstep 2 weeks later. We were like, what is this heavy thing? What did you get? And there he was. And he didn't cost any more. And he was, and I normally would have thought that I was nuts when I got the idea that his name was Tom, but I would have never named him something so boring. So that must be his name.
Very cool. Yeah, I have to say that our daughter orders stuff from China all the time, and it's 6-7 weeks at a minimum.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it was weird. I mean, we were all kind of like, he was meant to live with us. That's all we can think of. And when I put him, I have to put him in a window. Every time I pick him up and try to move him somewhere that's not in a window, I just get the feeling that he's not happy. And I have to put him back in the window. Then he's happy.
So does he talk to you?
Well, sort of, but not like in words. Like I just, if I pull him away from the window, I just know that's not right, and I put him back. And I just sort of knew his name was Tom, and I thought, that's a stupid name. And I don't want to name it Tom. That's boring. I want to come up with something really interesting. But it was like, then I just knew, no, we have to stick with that. So he does, but not, it's not like we have conversations. I just seem to know things when he's around.
Now, I've had the opportunity to meditate with Tom a couple of times when I've been over at Michelle's house. And what I get is just this really fun, and it totally makes sense considering, again, Michelle's personality. Just like with Joanne, he does have a very quirky, funny. I think the first time I meditated with him, he kept showing me this image. And again, it wasn't words, it was more images I was getting with him. But like the top of his skull popping open, like it was on a hinge. And I was like, okay, but it was like almost cartoony, like it was meant to be funny. So he kind of has a quirky sense of humor like that.
Well, the whole, me and the whole clown thing, that just exploded once he came to the house. Just like, I've always liked clowns, but once he came in the house, just everything is clowns everywhere all the time.
He's the clown.
Do you know anything about his provenance? Like who created him? Why?
Just as far as we know, honestly, the people we bought from just to sell on eBay, like just like for fun. So I think his whole existence is just people getting quirky ideas and following through with them. Just not questioning them because they were just fun and silly, and maybe it'll work out. Like maybe we'll make some money, maybe we'll get whatever. And it just keeps working out. Like, I don't know, maybe he just wanted to come into existence to live here in my house.
Well, you sure got there fast.
It's a super cool house. We've been there.
Yeah, it's an amazing house.
Yeah, very cool. So, Tonya, I'm going to put you on the spot here a little. Michelle from North Carolina says, hi, love you guys. We love you too. We're keep a good thought for you. We know you're having some health issues. She's wondering if Grandpa came to visit you on Monday.
Came to visit me on Monday. I got to think back to Monday, Michelle. My memory's terrible. Monday.
But in the meantime,
I will think on that. If anything caught my attention on Monday, because I can't tell you what I had for breakfast this morning, Michelle. Let me think about it.
Lory, the show is yours. Take us through your collection in as much detail as you'd like.
First of all, Michelle, on yours, those brown bits, those are called golden heal. It's a golden healer as well. And that's,
I know that.
yeah, so it's kind of cool. I mean, you know.
So Lory,
What was that around the mouth, Lory, where there was that sort of darker
It's
color?
kind of like, yeah, that darker brown color there. That's,
Yeah.
it's a deposit of a mineral in it, and they call it golden healer.
Okay.
Wow.
Does it do something to the qualities of the crystal, like from an energy perspective? Do you know?
It changes the energy perspective of it in a healing way. Yeah, you know that.
Yeah.
It kind of gives it that direction.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I think his method of healing is laughter.
It sounds like it. Uh-huh.
That's the best medicine. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I hope to see him someday. I'm inviting myself over, Michelle.
Yes, come on over. You know where it's at. You know where I live. Come on.
We'll have a crystal skull play date, and mine will feel like so inferior.
Yeah. Small but mighty.
Small but mighty.
I think he is.
Exactly.
I think he is. Yes, small but mighty. Okay, take us through,
All
Lory.
right, take us through your collection.
Let's start with this one because this was the one who kind of started it all. Do you remember when I got this one? I don't know if you can see his face very well.
I do.
We went to the Universal Light Expo in Columbus, and I got him there. And he's amber. He's of course reconstituted amber and then carved. And the gentleman that brought him has since passed away. And it was a whole class around skulls and crystals and how to meditate with them and how to feel the energies, and so it was really interesting. I don't know. Let's see. This is the heaviest one, and this is grandmother, and she is petrified wood.
She's
Oh.
gorgeous, and
Mhm.
I've been blessed enough to be able to hold these when I've been over at Lory's, and they all pack a very powerful punch as far as energy.
So not the biggest one, but definitely the heaviest one. Yeah.
I feel like I'm back in grade school, embarrassed to ask a question and look stupid.
What's
Do you
that?
think Grandma was carved before the wood petrified or after?
After.
After, okay.
Mhm. Yeah. My rarest one is this one. And I don't know if you can see the color in the veins. This one is charoite, and it comes from Russia. And to have a piece that's this big and carved is really pretty rare.
That's
So,
how
yeah,
big
and
is
it's-
that one, Lore?
this is about 3 inches. It's about a 3-inch skull. Yeah. These
And
bigger
what-
ones are 5.
What are the properties of charoite?
It's very third eye, crown
Oh,
chakra,
nice.
very soothing. It's one that helps you sleep, brings about a good sleep. Yeah. This one is like Michelle's, kind of. I have another one that's a better example, but this is pink tourmaline. And these rods, even though it looks spotted, those rods go all the way through the crystal
Wow.
Ooh.
and come out. They're just like the crystal rods that you see with the black tourmaline. And it's a very mellow vibe, very loving, very healing. All of these, are I would love to get them in a circle and start doing healings where they're just all around a person,
Lory, I have a question. do those minerals, do they go together naturally or?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Now this is the same as what Michelle's is. This is a 5-inch one. It's just that the rods are just a little, not quite as fine as hers. This is a little bit bigger. Very grounding, and you can see the golden healer right there. Do you see the golden healer
Wow.
right there? Mm-hmm. And
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. And don't you think that some of them look like they're smiling, and some of them, has sort of like sourpuss expression.
Mm-hmm.
They're all serious and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think so.
Do you know if that also comes from China?
I'm not sure. I have purchased a lot of these through a dealer in England, and she doesn't say who her carver is. Now I have some here that are by a pretty famous carver. His name is Lindro Souza, and the ones that I have, like this one is golden citrine.
Oh wow!
I love it. I can feel the energy.
But as you can see, it has a face on both sides.
Wow,
that's amazing.
And then this one is Gerasol quartz, which is also known as milky quartz. And a lot of people who do grids, milky quartz is not good for gridding because it's so mellow. It kind of just plops out. It's not like a kind of thing.
Can you define gridding? I don't know what it is, so maybe someone in the audience might not.
A crystal grid is one that you set up with intention, and you can use different qualities of different quartz or different stones to bring, like if you wanted one for protection in your house, you could set it up. Usually they're round. They could be square. They could be an X. It doesn't, it's just almost like it has to be a symmetrical kind of layout. And, if you were going to do one for protection, I would use a lot of tourmaline. You could use the petrified wood. You could use Picasso jasper. You could use labradorite because it's very protective to intuitives.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is just the last. This one is amethyst, although it's not because my other hand's up. And it's got the two faces as well.
I love
on
those.
it. Now, let's see. These ones are called, and I don't know why, Mongolian. Sometimes they're referred to as Mongolian. But I use these like if I really want to see clearly a situation. So, yeah, and it's got a little bit of golden healer, but this one is rose quartz.
I love it. I love the very large eye sockets on that.
Especially if you use it for seeing.
Exactly.
I just think
It
that's
totally makes
really,
sense.
really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just show you these. These are called my light bringers. And they're not necessarily skulls, but they are crystal carvings. And this is selenite. And it's of an alien kind of thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so gorgeous. I wish the radio listeners could see these. But please go to our Facebook page if you want to see them.
Yeah.
Because they're worth seeing. And this alien head skull is just beautiful.
And you could use it for a lot of, if you do astral projection and that sort of thing. This one is the other one that I have. It's similar. The other light bringer.
I love that.
That's
one.
my favorite.
And this one's white jade, and its eyes are labradorite.
Wow.
I remember when I was holding that one, I couldn't give it back to Lory. Like I didn't want to let go of it. I just like
That one?
Yes.
Its
He looks
eyes,
like one of the guys who took us.
Mm-hmm.
the eyes are really opaly like, and they kind of follow you everywhere you go.
Yeah, it's
Um,
gorgeous.
this was one of my first ones, and it's labradorite as well. Although it looks kind of gray, it's labradorite, and it's protection and psychic travel and meditation. But on the back, I don't know if you can see the sheen. It
Yes.
has a purple and gold sheen to it, which is kind of rare and sought after. And then if you get it just right, all across this is nothing but sparkles.
Yeah.
It just comes alive and sparkles everywhere when you hold, And I don't know. I think it is a kind of a happy collection. This is one that's I like because it looks kind of rough and tumble. It's red jasper, but it looks like it's kind of been beat up. Yeah, there's this buddy.
Yeah.
His
Soulmates.
little buddy.
Oh, the red jasper's
It's
gorgeous. Oh, I like him. He looks like the skull or something out of the comics.
Well, the thing about that
Ghost
too
or
is
whatever.
with the red jasper, it really brings out all of the detail. Like you can really see the detail with that.
Mm-hmm.
The teeth and the jaw.
And this is kind of one of those things that once you start collecting, people find them and my sister found this one in Alaska, and it's carved out of an antler.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I like small things. And that one really appeals to me because it's.
Now this one is Picasso jasper. This is all about reconnecting with old friends. It's all about protection. But you can see he looks very wise, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And the way the striations are showing up on the screen is just, it looks alive. It looks amazing.
Yeah. To our radio audience, if you haven't seen the live stream yet, this is an episode definitely to do it. So so I want to start a crystal skull collection, or someone in the audience does. Take us through what you've learned, the do's, the don'ts. You talked about using a dealer. Is that what you suggest? We're all ears.
I would say get hooked in with some online. There are people that sell them online. The woman that I connect with, her name is Juanita Visser, Visser. She's out of England, and her company's name is Earth Spirit. And she'll also have dragons, but she also carries spheres and all different things. But it's really about what you're called to, not necessarily what's available, but what you're called to.
Yeah.
And really getting that gut instinct.
Yeah.
Because they will reappear and reappear and reappear.
Like Tom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he came to me. I wasn't at all looking for him. He just insisted.
And he made it as easy as possible for you. Yeah, which is just...
Nothing has ever been that easy. No purchase has ever been that easy.
Yeah.
That's what it's meant to be.
That is profound.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all have certain things, feathers, wands, gemstones, skulls, that we were meant to connect with, and a lot of events unfolded to make that happen. You had a piece of a horse something, or no?
Well, no, I was just thinking about
Serpent Mound.
Yeah. Oh, that's a different story. But I was thinking actually about something a little different. I had a dream about macaw, and macaw is a totem animal for me. I'm very drawn to that bird. It shows up for me a lot in dreams, has over the years. So I had a dream about this bird. A few days later, I get contacted by a former Reiki student of mine. He's down in North Carolina. We hadn't spoken in probably over a year. And out of the blue, he contacts me and he says, I got these feathers. I can't really talk about how, but I want to share them with you. and I'm not sure what they are. He sends them to me, and they're macaw feathers. So it was pretty wild, and they are very special to me. So
Macaw's not a raptor, is it?
macaw is related to parrot, I believe. It's
Yeah,
a
'cause
tropical
there's-
bird. It's a lot of times people think it's a parrot, but
There are
it's
very
not.
strict rules about what feathers you can have and what you can't have. We have, because of ceremony and some of our teachers and all, we have an array of feathers that I brought them to show some kids during a program. And one of the parents was like, "You're not supposed to have these. Take them home and never take them out again." And I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay."
and we don't, and we
Yeah.
won't, and everything was gifted to us. We we didn't. Anyway.
Craig might start collecting. Craig, another threader.
This is a good book by Judy Hall. Really good. I can recommend this one. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Can you? I can't see the author's name. Can you?
Judy Hall.
Oh, Hall. Hall.
Yes, Judy.
Judy Hall. Okay.
Hmm.
That's there, folks. Earth Spirit, Juanita Visser is in there too. So trying to keep up with it all for you. Great information. So we have a little bit of time left, and you're so knowledgeable about gemstones and all of that. Audience, we have two very knowledgeable people here. We don't use the E word, expert, but two very knowledgeable people here. If you're trying to bring something into your life, if you're having some kind of problem or looking for the right thing, go ahead and pick these ladies' brains while we're here.
Yes, if you have any questions, and while we're waiting to see if there are any questions, I want to let Michelle know that I finally did remember Monday.
Okay.
It was the reason I was having trouble. I realized was Monday was a very hectic day. We had a lot going on Monday, and then we ended up going to the airport, taking a little side adventure because our son's flight was delayed and we needed to kill a couple of hours. So,
right.
Michelle, I am sorry to report that I do not remember a visit from your grandfather on Monday. But interestingly, what I will say is I just told the story about how your grandfather saved me from a ticket. And if you're okay with that, I would love to share that. I was just telling that story like last week. So he has been in my thoughts. So it's very possible that he's been around.
And I'm going to, because Monday was very busy, but I remember standing here and have a conversation with you about some kind of phenomena that was going on in here. And we said, oh, well, I guess the old man is back. Because there's an older gentleman
who smokes in here.
Who spends time in this room, and something happened. I said to you, something weird is happening with something. And you said, I guess the old man is back. I don't know.
I think something
could be just a coincidence, but yeah. So there we go. So I think we have some more.
Okay, so Michelle says sure. So
okay, great.
Many years ago when I first met Michelle, she was getting a reading for me with her mom, and I was getting her grandfather, and he was showing me that he was in the Army in World War II and that he was in the motor pool. And I think, Michelle, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my recollection is that neither you or your mom could remember or recall that, but you went home and you were able to verify that. So after the reading, after the reading, I'm driving home from my studio to our house, and the road that would take me there was very highly policed. So you never wanted to speed. And I always made sure that I would put my car on cruise control because thanks, Michelle, because the speed limit was kind of low, and I can have a heavy foot sometimes. So I would put my car on cruise control to make sure that I didn't speed, because I mean, they were not playing around. If you went 2, 3 miles, 4 miles over whatever, they were going to get you. So I put my car on cruise control, but I was kind of, up in my head, I wasn't thinking, did not put my car on cruise control. And I look in my rearview mirror, and lo and behold, I see like a World War II Army Jeep behind me. And I'm like, what? And I think about Michelle's grandfather and look down and realize I'm going way over the speed limit. So I chuckle and I think, oh, he's reminding me to put my car on cruise control, because why else would I see this World War II like Army Jeep? I look behind me, there's no Army Jeep. And right at that time, here goes a police car cruising by me. So I would have gotten a ticket were it not for Michelle's grandfather. So
He
I'm
did you
always
solid.
grateful, ever grateful for that. But Michelle, there's a lot of energy coming in right now too. We'll have to catch up. I'd love to hear what's going on with you.
Yeah. So our good friend Angelina says hello. Folks, we've mentioned it before. Let's just take a quick second. I'm thinking about our radio guest. I think we went off the air. But please take a quick second. Angelina's taken a journey through breast cancer. And she's going to be okay. I know that because of her sense of humor and her kindness and her positive energy and spirit and thoughts. So everybody, please. She's one of the original Realmers, and
that's right.
We're all in it together, so to speak. So here's a question for Lory. And Lory, I believe this is a friend of yours, Ashley. What do you recommend for grief?
There's one, it's called mango calcite, which is a very gentle, healing kind of stone. I have a palm that's a heart. I think that they have these over at, we live in Morgantown, West Virginia, that area, and over at Bliss on the Greenbag Road, Bliss, they have a lot of crystals, and I would recommend mango calcite. Also, probably some black tourmaline just to get grounded. But yeah, it's a really soothing kind of stone that if you could find it, charite, because it's really healing, but you're probably not going to find that one. But actually, we can get together and we can talk about it. We can get it all hooked up.
Awesome. So let me see what we have. Philip says hello.
That's my sister.
Oh, awesome.
Hi,
Hello, thanks for joining us. How cool. Michelle says, yeah, you guys should talk. Angelina said, oh, thank you. Thank you, our friend. She named Eleonora back behind us there, our official mascot. Okay, guys, we're coming to the end of the hour. So any other questions, observations? Angelina says, yeah, your house is always active. That's why we wrote Roommates from Beyond, How to Live in a Haunted Home, because we are, let's use the E word, we are a different E word. We are very experienced at it.
Very experienced. So I just want to tell a little more about the old man in this room. So one day, this kind of speaks to how Joey's psychic ability is developing. And I've been telling him for years that he's very psychic and he's finally starting to believe me. But he asked me, "Can you look he was in the other room. He's like, can you look in my office and tell me what you see?" And I look and I go, "Oh yeah, the old man's back." Like sometimes he just stands in here smoking, just standing smoking. And I can smell the cigarette smoke. And Joey goes, "Okay, cool. That's what I saw too." So I was like, "Yes."
That's often a day for us, right? Mm-hmm. Our big romantic sojourn that we took to Niagara Falls in the dead of winter that everybody thought we were crazy, but it was totally fun. And we were sitting in the restaurant eating, and I said, is there a little girl in a flower dress kind of twirling and sort of flirting a little over there? And you said, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said.
Yeah, so that's what we do for that and watch Skinwalker Ranch. And so let's see what we have here. Ronald says, good show. Ronald, put on the comments today, it better be a good show. So, Ronald, we love you. Ronald's
always keeping us on the straight and
always keeping us on our turn. I told him we would do our best. I think we did. Ronald is the producer over at ERT Radio, where you can hear our show, Into the Outer Realms Revisited broadcast. It's about 3 weeks behind now, but we're very appreciative to Ronald in all seriousness. But that what he said. That's what you see the pressure we're under, folks. It better be a good show tonight.
There's no pressure. Hey, I just want to say I like our show because for me, we're just hanging with friends every week. Every Thursday, we get an hour to hang out with our friends and hang out with all of our friends, our listeners and our guests all together. We get to have sort of like a Thursday night party every week, and I love it.
Chassie's thanking our guests. It was an amazing show. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Chassie.
Certainly, I learned a lot tonight.
I did too.
And
Lory
beautiful.
And Michelle are both so knowledgeable. Oh, Lory, please remind me, Marty, what is he?
Zozite with ruby.
Zozite with ruby. Thank you. And what is Zozite for?
It would be a heart chakra. kind of healing thing. Also the ruby, but it also, you can take the ruby to the root chakra and you get this whole really great dynamic between the heart and the,
So that really speaks, you were saying you just got to let them call out to you, right? And I remember I got him at the Max of Crystal Skull event, and I remember I chose him because the moment I picked him up, I brought him immediately to my heart chakra. And
I know why you chose him. Because he looks like he's wearing tie-dye. He's a tie-dye crystal. That's what he looks like.
He's a hippie skull.
Exactly. He's the hippie skull.
We need that. So ladies, before we let you go, so Angelina wants a stone, right? She's having this journey now through cancer. What do you recommend, Lory?
I would recommend a quartz crystal because it would magnify anything you put it with. I would recommend aventurine for the heart. Labradorite is a great healing stone. Labradorite, and you can get these just about anywhere. So I would put those three together.
Okay, great. Chassie said hematite and moss agate. Are those good healing?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right on. Cool. Thank you, Chassie.
It's very healing.
All right, ladies, last words, closing thoughts.
Oh, this has been so fun.
Oh, it's been great. Thank you so much for letting me share my army, as Michelle calls it.
I want to come see your army. I'm coming to your house.
Okay, bring Tom.
Okay.
Protection. So I know my go-to is black tourmaline. I have a nice chunk of it. That I keep my St. Michael medal on, and it really keeps our room, which is
and I have a huge chunk of black obsidian that I also like for protection.
Yeah, but turning it over to you guys for protection, what's your go-to?
Obsidian. I have bracelets that are made of that. Then that's what they're for.
Psychically, I would say labradorite.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great protector. That's what I have to wear when I go in Walmart. I'm just saying.
Yeah, actually, Ronald, I would get one of each. I would get some black obsidian and labradorite. Lory's right would be brilliant for you, Ronald. Just because I know you, I know that would be good for you.
Yeah. He says from visitors, so I think he means visitors with a capital V. Mm-hmm. Because your everyday run-in-the-mill visitors, just tell them you have like a syphilitic pit bull or something. Just put that sign on your door. That's my little piece. But the big visitors.
Is good for little V visitors. Tiger's Eye is great for that. But,
for keeping people away?
Well, for dispelling negative energy.
Oh, nice.
People.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, we're going to release you on your own recognizance, knowing Michelle, we'll see you in a couple weeks. We're really excited. You and Lanny. And Lory, we'll see you on July 22nd when you officially make your debut as a Red Threader. That's awesome. What are you thinking about Antarctica? Pretty wild.
It's pretty wild. It is mind-blowing. And it will rock your world.
There's a good endorsement. Yeah. Hey, we go out and get the best. I don't know if Craig is still here. Craig's part of the team. I know he's doing his research. Yeah, I mean, the stuff that we're going to talk about, naval battles and underground bases and stargates and it's crazy. I can't wait. So thank you both.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
We love you.
We're going to let you go. Okay, guys. So the last couple of minutes, announcement time. All the way back up in the beginning of the comments, you will see that we now have a merchandise store through redbubble.com. We've heard really good reviews that the merchandise is excellent. You can get the Into the Outer Realms logo on t-shirts, baseball shirts, sweatshirts, any array of shirts. Coffee mugs, canvas tote bags. You can get magnets and stickers through them. We're probably still your best friend for buttons. I think it's pretty reasonably priced considering they're making it and shipping it and we're getting a piece of it and all of that. But so you can go there and the click is there. So what you do is you go to redbubble.com. Then you go to iTour store. Capital I, capital T, capital O, capital R, store with a capital S, and it's all run together. And then if they'll show you one product when you first get there, but just click on see all products or search all products or buy every single product, and it'll take you.
Conversely, if you don't want to do all that, go to my Tonya Medea Medium Facebook page, and you'll only have to scroll a little bit. Actually, I'm going to put it at the top of my page tomorrow. There'll be a link. And you can just do that.
So we're kind of excited. A lot of people have been asking, especially about T-shirts. I'm going to eventually get one, but there's a couple of others that I want to get before of other people's things. And the other, we can't give you details yet. We're still being cautious because of the pandemic and, is it going to get bad again or whatever. But we have found a space where Tonya and I will launch phase 1 of the Research and Training Center. So we're going to...
Oh, I'm sorry. I will be able to see clients. So I'll be able to see clients there for services such as reading and, all the things I do and hypnosis. And we'll also be able to do talks, workshops, have events. Lory, I want to talk to you about maybe doing that idea that you have of bringing the skulls. Maybe we could schedule an event where you bring your skulls and people can come and sit. So let's talk. We can maybe set that up as well.
We are working on some kind of certificate program eventually, where you take a series of classes with us. Also, we want to take it on the road after we pilot it and all. So if you want us to come to your town, do some investigations, hold some classes, teach some people some things, we can definitely do that. Do book signings or whatever. So this is an exciting new phase for us. So it's been a wonderful hour.
Yes.
As I thought it was going to be. We have great guests coming up. I will just tell you, Lapaka Kapanui, Hawaiian storyteller, is joining us next week. Writer, storyteller, does ghost walks. He's working on a project to tell like 100 stories in a row, like during a live stream event. Really amazing guy. We met him through our Brothers at Three Beards podcast. We watched him. We're so impressed. That's next week. And moving forward, we're just scheduling a great array of people. We just were asked to have someone on the show who is doing this project called the Rainbow Bridge Project. His name is Brent Hunter. I'm publishing my review of his book tomorrow. He was pleased that I got it and said, hey, I would love to be on the show and talk about my work. This is the kind of thing where 90% of people would go, yeah, good luck. You're way too ambitious and you're very naive about what needs to happen into the world. But the 10% who are holding the candles, keeping them lit, this is the show for you. So we're trying to bring you a really broad array of amazing guests. We just got connected with another publicist who wants to have a bunch of their people on the show. So we're going to get into cool things. So it's exciting times. Rainbow Bridge for the Lost Pet. Ronald, I do believe that that's an aspect of it. It's very broad based, so we'll find out. I think he's going to be on in October. So thank you all. We are deeply appreciative of you all. We would probably talk to each other if we had to about this stuff. We do quite often. But thank you all and have a wonderful evening.
Bye, guys.
Join us next week when we go into the outer realms
where the paranormal are just
the normal and the natural. Wow, you had a lot of.
I had a lot of.
You had a lot of acting on that. That was nice. You really sold it.
Something on there.
See you guys. A little something on there. And with that, folks, we're out.